Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the IWC Radio Podcast. This is our Fastlane review show, and joining me this evening is Chucks and Will. How are you guys doing?
Hello, I'll just be the beans for tonight. I can't do it as good as him.
Yeah, it's like there. See, I don't have a can to do that this week.
Oh, I can actually. First time in a while I can join in.
Wow.
Oh well.
I see how it is.
Oh, that was a nice one.
That was a nice one. I have can envy now.
I was a cherry Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
A cherry Coke.
Damn. I'm really jealous because I don't have any canned drinks here, sadly. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
I'm alright. Weather's finally deciding to warm up. It seems like this past Wednesday we had a blizzard here. Like I opened up the front door and then there was like just snow and wind blowing sideways. It was awful. But
we're kind of like that with the wind at the moment.
Really?
Just wind and rain and not very nice, but at least we didn't get the snow. So.
Wow. Like it was awful. Like the wind was nonstop. It just ugh. But it seems like it was like winter's last hurrah. So I'm ready for spring. I'm finally ready for spring.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're getting that soon. I'm not sign of it at the minute, but
it's not even that bad here. We haven't got. We just had like a bit of drizzle today. The wind is there, but not that bad. It's just a bit crap.
Yeah, dull and dreary.
Yeah, but we do have daffodils, so spring is here.
Okay.
Kinda.
Is it Easter soon?
I don't know.
Yeah, was it 21st of April? I think it's kind of a late one this year.
Yeah.
25th? Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it's later.
Yeah.
So usually you notice the weather getting a bit better around about Easter, but
Well, hopefully before that then, because that's a long time to wait for some sun.
I'm off from the 8th of April. What about then? It'd be good.
Yeah, I'll take that. Right up to WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, that's why I was put off. Not that I'm a wrestling nerd or nothing.
No, of course not.
No. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, I was distracted with something for a second. Yeah, not much in terms of news, but we'll go over Fastlane, see who's possibly broken the tie here in just a few moments, and we'll also recap this week's SmackDown and Raw. So, I assume you guys are ready. Do you have the papers ready, Chucks?
I do. Do you want to jump right in?
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Are we going right in? Wow.
Sure. Let's do it. So, Fastlane opened. No, it didn't. It had a pre-show. We had 2 matches on the pre-show, which became 1. Last Sunday.
Right, yeah.
2 became 1. And the New Day beat Nakamura and Rusev. So that is points for everyone. I just remembered that we all predicted exactly the same thing.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about Beans, this one. And he's not here with us for some reason.
He's going to relish in the
That's
fact that he's going
disappointing.
to take the lead by not being here.
Yeah.
I might
New Day
implement a
wins.
new rule from next, not officially for this game. From our next game next season, if he misses a show, he gets deducted points.
Yep. I'm all for it.
The integrity of the game, though. Come on.
No, go.
Did either of you actually watch this one? Because I
Yes.
did not again.
Yes, I did.
I did actually. Yeah.
There was a bunch of Rusev Day facial expressions that were pretty good. Like, he would get a pinfall, and he would just have, like, this weird look on his face. Like, how is that not 3? And I think he got him the Machka kick later on, and he basically did the same thing.
Yeah, I did see it. I can't remember much of the match, to be honest.
Yeah.
I remember that, but that's about it.
I mean, it was like a standard match. It wasn't really anything of noteworthy. Other than the ESPN stat of Rusev not being able to win a match on a pay-per-view in 2 years.
None?
Is that right, yeah?
That is right, yeah.
Huh. That's actually not surprising at all.
Yeah, there it is.
So
Right
I guess he could have beaten Aiden English, but that never went to pay-per-view.
No.
He's barely even been on pay-per-view in the last 2 years. Alright. So points all round. New Day wins, and they didn't do the other match. So the other match is going to be Mysterio and Andrade. When did they announce that this was changing into a four-way?
They did like a weird backstage segment where
Yeah.
Carmella was trying to get petitions signed for something with the U.S. title, and she bumped into Zelina Vega in the makeup chair, and Samoa Joe came up, and then that's when it, I guess, became into a four-way somehow. So.
Okay, fair enough. Then, right, so the main show opened with the Usos retaining against the best team in the world. This was not very good. And after the match, Shane turned on the Miz right in front of Mr. Miz, in front of George Miz. George Miz was right there, and I don't know if he is physically capable of having facial expressions, but he sold nothing good or bad during this whole thing.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna be funny. If my film was getting battered right in front of me, no bald guy's gonna get in my way.
You wouldn't just kind of stand there.
Well, to be fair, he was standing there because he wasn't sure what the hell Shane was trying to apply to Miz.
That's true.
A wacky triangle thing. He just stood there because he knew there's no way that's doing any damage.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I'll throw it up on the... Oh, never mind. Hold on.
Also, while all this was going on, where's Mrs. Miz?
Good question. Yeah.
She's pregante again, isn't she?
What?
Pregonate?
Oh, no, not that Mrs. Miz. Mrs. Miz.
Oh, Mrs. Miz.
Yeah.
Ah, right. She's not pregnant. Okay. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Strange moment.
Yeah, good triangle.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do there, but he should. I don't think submissions. I don't think submissions is like Shane's wheelhouse. Obviously, it's not his forte.
And neither is strikes.
Ooh.
But he keeps doing them anyway.
Well, for being honest, neither's wrestling.
That's true. Yeah.
Not even that great at jumping off stuff anymore.
Him colliding with one of the Usos was pretty nice. That was a.
It would have
good
been
spot.
if they'd actually done it right. Kind of like, what was it in the end? A drop kick to the knee or something?
Yeah.
Really work. Good idea though. Sure, I'll give you that. Nothing else to say about this match. Presumably, it was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously the setup for the Mania match.
Yeah. It's such a shame that the Mania match set up from this is those two and not something with the Usos.
Well, yeah.
And we didn't get to see Rikishi. I wanted more dads out here. I would have taken Titus O'Neil. He's a great dad as well.
Interesting how, you know, when kind of a point to take away from this is how Shane, you know, when he aligned himself with Miz, said, "You better not screw me," and then he was the one that did the backstabbing in the end.
Yeah,
Unless he counts Miz losing the match as him screwing him. I don't know.
I don't know. I missed SmackDown this week. I assume he mentioned something about it on there.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I don't recall him bringing it up, but it's whatever.
Next up was Asuka defeating Mandy Rose when Mandy Rose slipped on the ring skirt.
This was awful.
Yeah, wasn't it just? So I don't know why, but Sonya Deville decided to look for a kendo stick under the ring. Couldn't find it on one side, waited 5 minutes, then looked for it on the other side, left the ring skirt up. Mandy Rose slipped on it. Sonya never got to use the kendo stick, and Asuka wins.
What are they teaching down there in Florida at the Performance Center? Like, come on. If you're in the ring, you gotta keep your feet underneath you. Don't trip over the ring skirt. Come on. That's like wrestling 101 right there. Come on.
The referee did a good job of not seeing it. Because it was it was really obvious watching it from our perspective.
Yeah.
And I thought, surely he's going to flip that down again. He's going to see that thing.
Like, hey, what are
and
you
he's
doing?
going to notice that Sonya's got a stick.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't look. He didn't look at all.
Nope.
So, credit to him for not seeing something.
Also, and since you didn't see it on the pre-show, presumably, there was a backstage segment with Mandy and Sonya Deville, where EC3 walks up and tries to hit on Mandy. He actually said some words.
He talks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said something. Yeah.
And Sonya just basically shut him down. And whatnot. It was a bit degrading.
I love it when they build up storylines that make no sense.
Yeah.
Like EC3, a great promo guy, not talking, and then just drop it in the middle of a pre-show, pay-per-view pre-show. I think that's my favourite part of wrestling. Building up stupid storylines and then not even bothering to pay them off. So yeah, Mandy Rose loses and maybe is splitting up with her best friend. Awesome. We get the women's tag titles, and now one of the few teams we actually have is no longer a team. Possibly. Then we had Kofi Kingston backstage waiting for an hour outside Vince's office. The New Day shows up, they all barge in, Vince says, "But I was waiting for Kofi." Funny. Comedy. And then they plead his case, say he should be in the WWE title match. Vince says, "Well, goddamn, pal, your match is a three-way now, and it's up next." What could possibly go wrong?
The fact that it wasn't a three-way.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a title match.
Well, we assumed. Vince only said that Kofi's match was up next, and it is a three-way. It's listed here as a handicap match, but is that actually true?
Yes.
Vince did say it was a three-way, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, but they announced it as a handicap.
So they just changed their mind. They should have said it was a three-way, and then the bar could just work together to beat him up.
Yeah.
At least then they wouldn't have to just change the thing. Because the gimmick is that Vince says some stuff, and then it turns out to not be what we expected. Well, this one he said some stuff and then just changed his mind. It's not as good. Anyway, Kofi just got beaten up for a little while and then pinned. Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly was a match. It was a surprise to all of us. And honestly, I think it kind of killed some of the momentum of the show.
Yeah.
And some of the momentum of the Kofi.
Yeah. Too.
Yeah. Maybe we'll rant about this later, but I hate this story. I hate that we're doing this story again. Someone gets popular, they have to hold him back, mess about with him, and eventually he gets WrestleMania and overcomes all the odds at the end. Again.
Well, did you see SmackDown?
No.
They kind of referenced the Daniel Bryan story.
Oh, yeah.
apparently during that meeting that he had with Vince, oh sorry, you didn't see that as well, but during earlier on SmackDown, Brian was seen coming out of Vince's office.
Right.
And I think it was Xavier or someone said that they'd referenced that, sorry, Daniel Bryan had said that Kofi was a B+ player. Which I thought was a nice little touch.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, what have we got next up? Oh, we all got a point for Asuka, and we didn't predict the Kofi thing because it was not announced beforehand. The Revival defeated Aleister Black and Ricochet and Rude and Gable for the Raw Tag titles. And I think we all got points for this too. Revival all round. Yep, all good. Match wasn't as good as it should have been, I think.
No, I was expecting more than this. Yeah.
I love everyone in it. They're all great.
Right.
It's just maybe should have been a straight tag. Like maybe it will be at WrestleMania. I guess we'll see.
It's almost as if the NXT guys shouldn't be tagging up.
Well, yeah, there is that.
There is that, but if they do, if it's just Revival and then Aleister and Ricochet, that could be great. If it's just Revival and Rude and Gable, that'll be great. Yeah, this should have been better. Maybe it's because it only had the 10 minutes. If it had more time, it might be better. Somehow it just didn't live up to what I was hoping for, unfortunately.
You mean to tell me it wasn't glorious?
No.
No. Huh.
No.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Still, I'll get my hopes up for WrestleMania. I haven't learned anything. Fingers crossed. Hold my breath. All the rest of it. Then we had the 4-way, not Rey and Andrade, but R-Truth and Samoa Joe as well, all for the US title. And just like on SmackDown, Samoa Joe wins.
Well, this was pretty good, I thought.
This is really good.
My favorite part was how Chuck's got his prediction in when they changed his matchup at the very last second before
The last possible
Samoa Joe
second.
won.
I started late because I was watching Fighting with My Family. And then as I got back, I saw the tweet first, replied to it, the network loaded up, and Joe just put in the choke. Ooh, good timing. But yeah, we all changed our predictions from, I think we all had Andrade. Oh no, Beans had Mysterio. So
yeah,
he got himself.
He thought Mysterio needed the momentum heading into Mania.
He did.
I was so mad when this became a 4-way. I was like, God damn it. Now he's going to pick Samoa Joe because that's a smart choice.
Yeah. But great match, and yeah, I suppose now's not the time to talk about where these guys go from here. Anything else to say about this 4-way?
Not that I remember.
No.
It's good fun. Good pro wrestling.
Yeah.
This is what we came for. The Boss and Hug connection.
Oh, God.
More points for everyone. They defeated Nia Jax and Tamina. This was pretty bad.
I'm just sick of Bailey and Sasha.
Same.
I'm sick of Nia and Tamina.
And there was that one point in the match where they botched like a Samoan drop thing or whatever. Like Nia trying to pick up Sasha and like she tripped or something, or just didn't have her momentum underneath of her. It was weird.
Cole started off by shouting it's boss time.
Oh my god.
Like, he even knows she's annoying people now because yes, he apologised for her last week. He said, sorry guys, I've got to say it. He went, it's boss time. Dickhead.
Yeah, that is frustrating. I really hate it.
And now he's saying it's the big dog again. thought we got rid of that for a few months.
Yeah. Yeah. So Boss and Hug connection. Let's move on from that very quickly.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan. So this was a 3-way. Oh, is that what Vince said? That the WWE title match is now a 3-way, and Kofi, your match is up next. I think that's what it was. So he didn't change his mind on the 3-way to handicap it. That was the fake out. So Daniel Bryan defeated Kevin Owens and the mystery opponent Mustafa Ali. And I don't know when they're going to give up on Mustafa Ali, but as good as he is, I hope it's soon, because it's just not working.
I think the Kofi situation has helped him.
No.
I think he probably would have more of a chance if the Kofi situation hadn't gone the way it has.
Kofi took his spot and did it much better.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh yeah, there's
the
Nia tripping with Sasha.
Oh god.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that, yeah, it looks kind of awkward anyway, but you'd think that Nia, a 300.5 ounce Samoan, could pick up Sasha like in her sleep. Sasha's tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have we got? So yeah, triple threat. Mustafa Ali, no reaction at all. Had a fairly good match actually. Worked hard and everything, but
It's not bad in the ring. It's just it's just not working for him.
it's just no one asked for this.
Yeah.
It's getting a big push as like this underdog. Also, no character whose gimmick is they have a lot of heart ever got over. No one cares about heart.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that little babyfaces have, and no one cares about it.
No, I agree.
I wish I'd stop going on about having a lot of heart.
It's like Captain Planet all over again.
Yeah, that last guy, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
There was 4 classical elements, and then a heart. Heart's not that doesn't belong in there.
Earth, wind, water, fire. And then
Heart.
Yeah, nobody cares about the heart guy. Yeah, you're right.
No one wanted the heart guy. Captain Planet. He had a strong mullet.
He did. He did.
That was the 90s. That's the early 90s. Right. We got Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch by disqualification. Wait, did I do the Daniel Bryan? No, I didn't. We got points for Daniel Bryan, and Beans dropped a point. He thought Kevin Owens would win, and he was wrong.
He's going to contest this because of Mustafa Ali being
It's
added.
changed.
Yeah. He's going to contest this next week, I can already tell you.
If he knew Mustafa Ali would be in it, he would change his mind.
Yeah.
I don't think
He would change his mind to Bryan.
Yeah, exactly. Not even to Mustafa Ali. Okay, so we're a point up for now until he contests that. Becky Lynch beat Charlotte Flair by DQ. Points all round again, and God, I've got complaints about this one too.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about this?
It was basically Becky heading into a match where it was a one-legged woman in an ass-kicking contest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't a good watch. It wasn't enjoyable.
I don't know if I called the finish to this one last week like you credited me with, but I'll take it.
Someone did. I thought it was you.
Might have been me. Might have been, if not last week, the week before.
I'm pretty sure someone came up with it anyway. So the stip was if Becky wins, even though she's on one leg, she would be added into the title match at WrestleMania, making it a 3-way. And she did technically win by DQ when Ronda ran out and attacked her. So, right, I'm going to do my rant now.
All right, go for it.
I just hate this story so much. Again, it's the stacking the deck thing. Vince, for no reason, just doesn't like Becky. There's like no reason given at all. She didn't trash his limo. She didn't like what other reasons? She didn't. Why does Vince not like people? I can't even remember. He just doesn't like people. He just decides sometimes. Too popular. I don't like him. So, she got over despite the... it was supposed to be Charlotte that gets over at SummerSlam when it all kind of kicked off. She had the title match because she just won lots of things. Won lots of matches. She earned a title match. Charlotte got added in, won the belt. Becky got annoyed, was supposed to turn heel, but everyone thought, actually, that's kind of justified.
Right.
She's attacking her friend because her friend can't just let her have a moment. Title's more important than friendship, whatever. Got behind her, that was cool. She attacked the thing, attacked her friend, and all took off from there. Since then, especially recently, she's not affecting anything on her own. Stuff is just happening to her. And to me, that's the worst thing that you could be doing with a strong babyface like this. It's just having her be there while everything happens around her. This is what I think is wrong with this. So she won the Rumble. That was great. She injected herself into the Rumble, took the spot of Lana, won the thing. That's fine. Vince comes out, just decides to suspend her for no reason. So now she's gone. Title match is gone. And she does nothing until Ronda shows up and decides to get the suspension overturned. Ronda is the one who affects the situation.
Right.
Not Becky.
And she also pseudo gave up the title, but not really gave up the title.
Well, yeah, I mean, that sucks too.
My question was just going back to just when Vince suspended her, it didn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, maybe because she didn't want to get herself cleared by the WWE doctors.
Well, there was that, but just before that, like literally minutes before that, Triple H and Stephanie had unsuspended her.
Right.
So why didn't they go, hang on, Vince, what are you doing?
That's the bit that I forgot. Thank you reminded me. That's the other part that sucks. So she had it in her mind she's not going to see a doctor. I don't know the reason for that either. But she decided she's not going to see a doctor. She got manipulated by the authority to see a doctor.
Right.
In the end, she said, yeah, I didn't see your doctor, but I saw my doctor. So she's already conceded that ground.
I think there is an element of logic, and it's a bit thin, but it's when she got injured legitly last time, and they wouldn't let her wrestle at Survivor Series, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she doesn't. The idea was that she didn't want to go to WWE doctors because they wouldn't let her wrestle.
But they wouldn't let her wrestle anyway.
Well, yeah, but that was.
So that's a problem. But my big issue isn't so much about the doctor. It's that she vowed not to see one and then ended up seeing one because they wanted her to. She punched Triple H and slapped Stephanie. They then said, you need to apologize for this. And by the end of the show, she just did.
Mm.
She didn't stand up for herself or say no. She just, I'll go along with that. I'll see the doctor, I'll apologize to you. She didn't get herself unsuspended. Someone else did. She didn't get her own title match back. Someone else did. Like, everyone's fighting her battles for her. She's just going along with what she's told to do.
Mm.
Meanwhile, everyone is saying Becky is the closest thing to Steve Austin we've had in 20 years.
Yeah.
Except that couple of months where Randy Orton was a little bit Austin-esque.
Yeah. With a bald head looking like a shaved scrotum.
Wait, what?
Well, he had a bald head, looked like a shaved scrotum. Yeah.
Have you seen a shaved scrotum? They're much more wrinkly than a bald head.
Yeah, he had like wrinkles in it.
Okay. I'll take your word for that.
Yeah.
Thanks, you've really thrown me off
Sorry.
So if Steve Austin was in any of these positions, if he had punched Triple H or got himself suspended or got a title match taken away or like any of these things, his reaction would not just be to go along with it and wait for someone else to get him back in. He would be stunnering everyone. He'd be showing up and fighting his way back into arenas and just raising hell. That's what he did. Becky's not doing that.
Not yet.
She's lame. She's literally lame. She's got one leg. She's
literally lame.
She's literally lame. That's not to mention the fact that it makes no sense that she was in the match if she's not able to stand up. How was she cleared to compete?
Yeah, that I'll give you credit for, because it makes no sense to have something like, okay, you need to be cleared by our doctors, and then very obvious that you're injured, and yet you still have a match anyway. Which I guess could be part of the hold harmless agreement, but still.
Well, if you want to, I mean, the whole thing doesn't make any sense by the fact she won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And they've always been the winner of the Royal Rumble is in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
She never actually lost that.
Exactly. The reason she couldn't do it is because she was suspended over the 60 days, which took her over WrestleMania. Now she's not suspended. Everything should be as it was. Absolutely right.
That's a very valid point.
I just think that strong baby faces need to be the agents of change. Like when Daniel Bryan is kind of lame, I guess. It's a fun moment, but it wasn't, whatever. When he occupied Raw, he forced his way into getting what he wanted.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that people like to see. They show up, like just Randy Orton, whether he's a face or heel, he shows up and RKOs some people. And it's fun. And he gets what he wants. People get what they want when they're, not when you're suspended and you have to get Ronda Rousey to throw a weight around and get yourself. Yeah, I don't like any of this.
No, I'm with you on most of that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's one of those things. If you sit down and really look at how we got to here, like how we got to this moment, there's a lot of plot holes for sure. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that Becky's lame though, but I think the booking is kind of making her.
It's not her. It's the booking that's lame.
It's making her secondary.
Yeah, exactly.
Her character isn't the all-conquering babyface.
Right.
As boring as that story is too, she's not. It's not her story. She's just there, and it's Ronda's story. Even Charlotte. No, she's like a strong character who is not being pushed around. Becky is totally being pushed around. No, not a fan. Let's see, what do we got here? The Shield, the return of the big dog. And Beans thought that he wouldn't win.
Yeah.
And I can see why. But he's not going to lose his first match back. And he didn't. So this was pretty good. Took a while to warm up, I think, but by the end was vintage Shield. A few table power bombs and some fun stuff. The balcony dive from Rollins.
Yeah, they were all they were over by the pre-show set, which they still had the monitors on for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
No, did you notice they were off at first? Then they turned them on.
Oh, did they? Oh shit! Didn't notice.
When they first went over, they were everything was off.
Ah.
And then they cut back to whatever was going on in the ring, and when they came back to the pre-show set, they were somehow on.
Weird.
I thought this was a little bit too long. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I just thought maybe 5 minutes shorter might have been a bit better.
There was something a bit weird at the end, where I think maybe did Roman spear Corbin or something in the ring, and then they couldn't finish it because they needed to do a shield bomb or something. It felt like there was a very clear kind of finish that felt right, and then they carried on.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah, can't quite remember what happened.
Yeah, I can't remember either. It was a week ago now.
It was.
I just remember.
Yeah, I think
I just remember Roman getting the pin on Corbin, and that could set up like a feud for Mania.
Oh, please no.
No, I think he's gonna be McIntyre.
Yeah,
He's gotta be.
Especially after Raw.
yeah. And we'll get to that in just a second. So, 9 matches predictable on this show, and Beans got a pretty healthy 7 out of 9. That's a good score. However, in first place this week is all of us.
Yeah.
We all had a perfect 9.
Yeah, my first ever perfect review, I think.
And not just your first ever perfect pay-per-view, but it came at a perfect time because you are now 72 out of 142. You're over 50%.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Look at that.
With a 1-point buffer to take into WrestleMania to try and hold up. 72 out of 142 for you. Smoot Will ahead on 82. Beans on 86, and I've just pulled ahead now thanks to his terrible predictions on 88. So still actually pretty close with some good predicting at WrestleMania, some upsets. Anything could happen.
I'll be playing with house money then. Try to go over 50%.
I think it's gonna take something special from me. To be fair, I think it's between you and Beans.
Gonna take a lot of crazy booking.
It's weird because I think Will's in the lead for a little bit, I think, right? This season?
No, I think Chuck's just over that. I think I was a couple of points behind.
Huh.
I can look back.
I think I got to within 2 of you at one point.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever had the lead. Maybe not, or maybe I did and I didn't realise.
What have we got here?
Chucks is wrestling the papers here to check in.
Yeah, so I've got the Greatest Royal Rumble as the first one. Does that sound right?
I guess.
Yeah, it must be. That was last year, wasn't it?
First one after Mania,
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that show, the first show, we were both, me and Will, were 8 out of 10.
Huh.
So that was it.
Let's get back to this here. Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's, I guess, discuss a little bit with what happened on Raw this past week. And also a quick look as to what's going to happen next week. We'll get to that in just a moment. But all sorts of stuff happened. Some interesting takeaways. At the top of the show, apparently Shelton Benjamin, who's now a part of Raw, which I definitely don't remember. He was on SmackDown Live, like in that little New Year's resolution video, and now all of a sudden he's on Raw. So we've got our first inconsistency, like minutes into the show. He attacks Seth Rollins after the Shield's farewell address because the match at Fastlane is supposedly the last time ever you're going to see the Shield in the ring in WWE. And Seth Rollins beat the shit out of him. So.
You still got that terrible theme music.
What, ain't no stopping me now?
No, I want that back.
Oh. No, he needs that back. He's got whatever shit they come up with for him this time.
Oh, okay. I think I remember, yeah.
Yeah, he needs his original one back.
After that, we had Bobby Lashley staring at Finn Balor from the Titantron. Which
his face on the screen.
Yeah, which I think that's where I came in at, now that I remember. Because, it was just like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Set it up on Chrome. Yeah, that's how they set up a commercial break to go to commercial right there. It's just Bobby Lashley staring at Finn Balor in the ring. Anyway, that happened, and Balor lost the Intercontinental Championship, where Lashley regained it.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
That, like a month ago, Bobby Lashley was the champion, had his man of the hour, and we had him lose the belt, lose his manager, and now we're right back to where we were.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad we've gone through that whole story.
Yeah.
I feel like we've really learned something about all the people involved.
After that, we had Dana Brooke cutting a promo where she sounded like she was one step off of crying to Ronda Rousey.
This is pretty good, I thought.
I thought this was great.
It was great. It just honestly sounded like she was about to cry for some reason. I don't know why. Like,
yeah, I think a lot of it was
fun of the women's division.
Mark Simpson.
Something like that, you know. You're calling the product fake. All right, she didn't say that. But, you know. Which apparently is going to lead to, well, in this segment here, Ronda got the upper hand, and then she was going to put her in the armbar, and she was like, she said something that the microphone picked up saying, you got to pay me $60 for the armbar or something like that. Which,
Did she really?
Yeah. She said that, yeah. Like, does she really think that the pay-per-view still costs like $60? Like, come on, what are you doing?
You got to pay $9.99 for the armbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or subscribe now and get your free month.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah. You just...
Yeah, apparently the next day she came out on Twitter and said something about that wasn't Dana who you heard last night. It was Ashley, which is her real name.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
A lot of it was being bottled up apparently inside, and
yeah,
it did sound very real what you were saying.
She did. Yeah, it came off very genuine. I'll give her that. But it honestly sounded like she was about to cry.
It probably was, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, it was pay $60 and I'll show you how an armbar works was the quote. Which, yeah, good luck with that. So yeah, next week that's going to set up for a match between Dana Brooke and Ronda Rousey for the Women's Championship. So that's this upcoming Monday.
That's what the script says.
That's what. That's right. That's what the script.
We know Ronda's opinion on script.
Oh, god damn it! Forgot about that. Aleister Black and Ricochet, for some reason, a tag team still defeated Bobby Roode and Chad Gable in a glorious fashion, I suppose.
I skipped this. I was in a rush to watch Raw, so I skipped this.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Chucks, how about you? Did you catch it or?
I must have, but I can't remember anything about it.
Awesome. After that, after the match, the Revival came out and attacked the winners of the match, which was the NXT guys, Ricochet and Aleister.
Yeah. Seems to remember that being a good match.
Yeah, I don't remember much either, so...
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. After that, we had a video package of it wasn't Make-A-Wish, it was some, it might have been though, but it was some WWE superstars visiting sick children stipulation, and like Michael Cole kind of ruined it at the end because he thought they were going to segue to something else, and like he was setting up like for a video package, I think, of some kind of Roman and like a sick child, but it was just like a still image. And then it became into Alexa Bliss with her talk show segment, A Moment of Bliss, where she revealed that she's the host of WrestleMania this year for WrestleMania 35. Don't know how I feel about that.
So isn't
Go on, sorry.
what about those other guys?
Yeah, they're going to be there
Saturday
too.
Night Live guys.
They're going to be there too, sadly. Yeah.
They celebrity reporters or something, aren't they? They didn't say they were hosts.
They're going to be there.
Yeah, they'll be there. That's...
But they're not hosts.
I could totally see it. Awesome. Probably the dorky white guy, like pulling one of the stunts like they did a couple weeks back where the cameraman snuck up on Alexa Bliss changing. I could see them doing that again, but with the SNL guy.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, Colin Jost sent Braun Strowman a gift, which was
what was this all about?
Yeah, this was ridiculous. Sent him a car, a new car.
I hate this guy now.
I'm starting to hate Strowman.
A heel more hated than Strowman now.
Wait, who do you hate? The SNL guy?
Strowman.
Or Strowman?
Oh, I don't care about the SNL guy. I can care less about that guy.
Fair enough.
Strowman gets given a car, and his first reaction is just to smash it. And say they couldn't even be bothered to clean it. And so, not he's only ungrateful, but that was a really nice car. And you don't sell it, you don't give it away, you don't just ignore it. You have to smash it.
It kind of looked like the Walmart of cars, in a way.
Well,
I want one. I'll take one.
There is a story behind this, a potential story. Let me get the link. Sorry, I should have had this ready.
Isn't it a toy?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's basically they brought this out. They did this segment to sell the toy.
Yes, pretty much.
So
we shall throw it up on the.
Oh, they got it.
Yeah. He didn't rip out the steering wheel, by the way.
Well, he didn't turn it over either.
Yeah, no, he didn't turn it over either. He cracked the windshield, took the hood off. That's about it, and threw out the chair or
kicked the bumper off.
Yeah.
Which came off really easily. So
yeah,
I'm sure it was fine, and they just replaced those parts or whatever. But
the Walmart of cars.
What is the Walmart of cars? It looked like a really nice car.
It looked nice, but it probably drove like a piece of shit or something, or was really cheaply made.
Possibly. But it's just like, I don't know why I'm supposed to like that. The guy gets given a car and just smashes it.
Maybe the SNL guy was triggering Braun's PTSD of cars and vehicles.
Braun does hate vehicles.
Yeah. Like, maybe if Colin would watch the product from time to time.
Did he smash any vehicles before he was thrown into the trash compactor thing?
I don't think so. No.
Because that could have been the start of it.
That's actually, yeah, that would be a good.
I just love it. If you don't think you can throw this up, if you look on this webpage, I can't save the image for some reason, but look on the last image where he's actually in the car and how happy he is.
Oh my god.
You need to
yeah, we can throw that up there. Hold on. Look at this. Look at this. Look how happy he is. Oh my god. He looks even devious in the actual packaging product here. And here it looks like he's just shouting at the hood.
Why don't you work?
With all these parts that you may or may not choke on. He's still there, and then we finally get it all together and get it working. You're like, yeah!
That's great.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's incredible. So yeah, it's interesting on that one, on that model of car, it doesn't have like the WWE on the hood like it does in the stock photo. So yeah, what is this leading into anyway? Like Braun beating up the SNL guys? Like is that what's going to happen at Mania? Because this just seems like a waste of time and money for the car, honestly. Going off of Chuck's point.
Yeah. I mean, surely Strowman should be in a better program than this.
I hope so, man. Because like, he should have had the title like ages ago. And
yeah.
I think that again, just going back to that split screen promo with him and Lesnar, I think that was the downfall, and that pretty much killed any sort of title shot in his future, or in his near future, I should say. So now he's doing this shit. So
I've nothing against Seth Rollins, but arguably I'd rather see Lesnar Strowman than Lesnar alone.
Yeah, I'll take that. I want to see Lesnar Samoa Joe again.
Sure.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to see everyone with Samoa Joe. I just worked out the other day. If Cena's coming back, I want the Samoa Joe match. I would prefer Lesnar Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan, I think the Samoa Joe match would be great. There was someone else too. Oh, Kurt Angle, his retirement match now. I want that to be Samoa Joe.
Skipping ahead a little bit, but Kurt Angle defeated Apollo Crews and revealed that he's ending his career at WrestleMania. And this upcoming Monday, he's going to probably announce an opponent for WrestleMania as well. And I couldn't think of a better one than Samoa Joe, going off of your point, Chucks. Like it's either got to be Samoa Joe or John Cena.
I think it's gonna be Cena.
Yeah. Probably Cena to not really mention TNA.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Also, maybe a slight shout for the Undertaker, but.
Oh no.
No.
I don't think that would be so good.
No. No.
Leave that in 06.
Yeah, true.
It was great back then.
Yeah.
This is a really sad announcement for me.
Yeah.
I've been a Kurt Angle guy forever. He got me into wrestling, him and the Hardys at SummerSlam 2000. And I got really nervous around like 03 when there's a lot of rumors. I started checking the wrestling sites and stuff that he was going to retire any minute because his neck was just gone. Right before WrestleMania, he was supposed to be nearly done. 2004 again, I think he re-broke it and he's done. He's not got long left. And then in 2006, when he left the company and he was apparently on suicide watch because he was just so bad.
Yeah.
Like I was just this whole time I was like, this is the guy. This is why I love wrestling. This is my guy. And he's nearly gone and it's such a short career and it's so sad. But he's been around 20 years now and it's been 20 amazing years. And now we're finally at that point. He's 50 and he's going to retire. And it's sad, but I kind of feel like this is the time.
Yeah.
He's really not been himself since he came back.
I blame those missed moonsaults from off the TNA cage.
From the cage, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's been a career, that's for sure. I definitely agree that it's kind of a sad moment, I feel. And he's a one-of-a-kind person, too. You don't really have many, guys like his lineage of, coming from an actual wrestling background, winning a gold medal in the Olympics in '96, and just a one-of-a-kind guy. So
yeah.
I absolutely agree that it is time, as mentioned with all the crazy matches that he did in fucking TNA. Like I said, the fucking moonsault off the top and just missing
Ken Anderson.
Oh god.
But he had some amazing matches in that TNA run.
He got a
like
TNA,
even though his neck was broken however many times and he was supposedly broken down and high on everything and all the problems he had, he still had some amazing matches with Sting and AJ and Joe and everyone. He was the man.
And he got a TNA Rolex out of it.
He got TNA Rolex. He's in the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame over there.
And
should there be a lot of people like me who didn't watch TNA but have missed all these?
Oh, there's so much.
Yeah. You'd think, if this is going to be it, which it sounds like it probably is, they're going to get these matches on the network somehow. Or at least, even he did one of them table for threes.
He did a couple, I think. He did one with Edge and Christian, and he did another one with Sting, and then was it AJ?
Was it? Oh, no, I might be getting mixed up. There was one of them table for threes where Shane McMahon was on it anyway. And he pretty much said he had a lot of his big matches in TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they do mention it now. Now it's Impact.
You can't say TNA anymore. It's
no.
That's the weird thing, though. They do say TNA now.
Yeah.
Wow. So watching that clip there.
Yeah. There's a shot of there's Kurt Angle missing that moonsault on Ken Anderson. I mean, technically it quote unquote connected, but like, look at his body when he.
It was just his head.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That was a hell of a moonsault too. He always had such a good moonsault.
How long ago was that?
That was like, I want to say like what, 2011 or something, because that was during the.
Sounds about right.
That was like B-roll footage of that match.
Really?
If you couldn't tell by the Bram versus Hardy hashtag in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they did one at Lockdown 2010.
That might have been it. That might have been it right there, because of the cage.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it was close.
Yeah, that was a pretty good shout. Nearly 10 years ago. But since he came back to WWE and there was one of the Fastlanes, the first one, I think it was with Edge and Christian, and he did a few other promos at that point, where his eyes just looked vacant.
Yeah.
Like he just wasn't all there anymore. And that's gotten better, and his promos now just sound very scripted.
Yeah.
But his wrestling's not there. Like even in this match with Apollo Crews, he gave him some Germans, and Apollo went up, but it just didn't look right. He went up too much, because Apollo can jump 50 feet high.
Yeah.
But Kurt can't throw the same as he used to, so it looked stupid.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that when he came back, I remember him from TNA, and I thought, this is great. He can have one last run. He's still got it.
He was an honorary Shield member.
Yeah, and even that he was protected enough, and I could kind of fool myself into thinking that maybe he's still got it. The more I see him, that first match with Ziggler, he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he should have got back into the wrestling gear when he came back.
And even with that match with Drew McIntyre, like it should have, it set up like a thing where it seemed like that could have been it right there, and put McIntyre over huge.
Yeah.
Instead, now they kind of waffled on a bit, and now it's like, okay, for real, you guys, I'm going to be ending my career at WrestleMania when I face Jeff Jarrett because he stole my ex-wife from me many years ago, even though you may not have seen it because it was on a different company. I'm going to beat him up. That'd be funny if you actually did pick Jeff Jarrett. That's like a swerve.
Oh, God, I don't want to see that. It was fine. The feud was fine when they did it.
Yeah.
Not again.
I agree.
I suppose at least he's getting to do it on his own terms.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
He's not being, he hasn't got an injury. You see the likes of Edge and all that who've been forced into it. At least, I know he has got injuries, probably them playing a big part in his decision, but he's not being forced into it, so.
That's kind of cool. And then before the Angle announcement, we had Batista demanding Triple H to face him at WrestleMania, where it seemed like Batista just, give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Give me what I want.
It's funny. I was watching it with Dad was in the same room, and he's like, "What does he want?" It's like,
you really want it, Dave? Give me what I want.
You know what I want.
He was slobbering all over the mic. Why was he slobbering? I don't understand that.
Apparently, he was over here a few months ago promoting this. He did a film, Final Score, that we talked about last week, and he was on one of the chat shows over here talking about this film, and they obviously got onto WWE, and he said he gets really nervous when he's actually talking on the mic.
Oh, really?
That was a big part of why he didn't want to do it anymore, because he got so nervous doing it.
Not so bad.
I don't know what he still does, but that was only a few months ago, so I'm guessing it's still.
I mean, that's good to know, I guess. He has like a mild case of stage fright.
Yeah.
It is like, I mean, talking in front of like 20,000 people is not an easy task to do.
No. I mean, look at Lesnar. I mean, he doesn't do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, you could tell just if you look at him now. Since he said that, I'm kind of noticing things where you can tell he's not quite as confident as others. When he's on the mic talking. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I didn't get what was going on. Just give him what he wants.
Yeah. And then Triple H decided to make it a no holds barred match at WrestleMania, and I was just like, but what about a hold harmless agreement? Where WWE's not responsible for fighting a guy that's not employed. Which, by the way, Batista's suit was very sparkly. I enjoyed his jacket.
Also, if Triple H really wants to get his hands on him and really wants to beat him up.
Yeah, he wants to get.
If that's what he wants, what he really, really wants.
Yeah.
Why is he waiting? Why is he waiting like 4 weeks? Just do it now.
Because he didn't want to beat up the Guardians of the Independent scene.
That was a good line, actually.
That was a good line. But that's another thing. Going back to the Becky not having, not enforcing her will on things. Batista had to ask Triple H to get what he wants, what he really, really wants. And Triple H, was refusing, and eventually he had to break down, but he still got the last word and said, I'm going to do it on my terms. I'm going to give you what you want, but I'm going to get it my way. No one can get one over on the authority.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder now that WWE's target audience, well, not target audience, but their main audience is the over 50s. Because it's the fucking boomers who have all the power in this show.
All right, yeah, because you're not wrong.
Yeah.
That. And just going back on the career aspect, it seems like Batista said that this is like he's going to end his career at WrestleMania beating up Triple H.
Terms.
Yeah. So we've got Angle that's ending his career at Mania, and now Batista, presumably.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
I'm going to end your career on my I'm going to end my career on my terms so I can end your career on my terms.
Not confusing at all.
No, both careers are going to end on Big Dave's terms, whatever that means.
Yeah. And the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns initially. And then McIntyre got the upper hand on Reigns for a little while. And then they kind of made it seem like Reigns was having some sort of like a relapse a little bit with the leukemia stuff with the doctor and whatnot. And Rollins coming out like, hey, man, you feeling okay? Stuff like that, it seemed like. And then...
Yeah, obviously he hit his head, didn't he, on the post? Well,
yeah. And then backstage when Reigns was getting treated, Ambrose was like, make it a no DQ, no count out, falls count anywhere match, Triple H, make it happen. And Triple H was like, done. And that was the main event. Match ended somewhere near the staging area after McIntyre kicked Ambrose's head, which was wedged in a loose stair railing get up.
You mean that railing that's never been there before?
Exactly, yeah.
And for some reason it just wasn't attached.
Yeah. I guess it's for the announcers or something. I don't know.
It's not because they go up, they cut their own little stairs the other side.
That's true.
It's not. It's never been there before, ever.
Yeah. I'm sure Kevin Dunn would have a shit fit if that thing was there, like, all this time.
Oh, God, yeah. They didn't do the, when he threw him into the set, I wanted them to do the little crappy effect that they did.
Oh, God, yeah. It looked like he did it for, like, a split second.
Did it? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate the static effect when they slam him into that because it looks so bad.
Makes no sense.
It looks
LEDs.
so bad.
Why would they do that?
It wouldn't do that,
yeah. God. So yeah, that happened. That was. At one point, like, honestly, the match should have kind of ended when McIntyre took a pencil and jabbed it in Ambrose's eye.
That was horrible.
It's very un-WWE. That's like really brutal.
Yeah. Cole was legit shocked at that.
So was Renee.
Yeah, sure.
That should have been the end of the match, I feel, but yeah. They McIntyre won the match, and then Ambrose got up, and then as the show went off the air, he delivered another kick to Ambrose's head, and that was pretty much Raw this week. So it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great either. It was kind of like middle of the road for me.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't one of the worst shows. It was okay.
Yeah. It felt a little bit better than previous weeks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
I think we said it last week, but I never get the guy's name right. Bruce Pritchard, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's on the writing team now. You can definitely tell something's changed.
Well, all these shoot promos that everyone's doing.
Well, yeah.
Let this guy jab the other guy with a pencil.
So, yeah, maybe it's... I think the bigger test will be after Mania, because obviously they've got the big thing to go for now. Everything's focused on that. It'll be interesting to see what it's like when we haven't got Mania to focus on.
Yeah. On SmackDown side of the things, we had Shane McMahon explain his heinous Fastlane attack on The Miz. He kind of roughed up Greg Hamilton for not putting enough emphasis on Best in the World. like he's CM Punk or something. I don't see any callback whatsoever towards the handshake deal that they had with The Miz. But he basically railed on him for being so desperate for his father's approval and closed his tirade by demanding The Miz be at WrestleMania to face the best in the world, Shane McMahon. So that happened. New Day made waves during the Hardy Boys and Aleister Black and Ricochet versus The Bar and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. So this is like, what, a 6-man... Oh, no, 8-person tag, right? Yeah. 8-person tag, which gets marred by interference by the New Day. Because they're trying to rep Kofi Kingston. They want him to win the title at WrestleMania and such. It seemed like a waste of time. 8-man tag was alright for the most part. Nothing too extreme or anything like that. After that, we had Randy Orton with a promo to AJ Styles referencing TNA and Dixie Carter.
I thought it was a really good promo from both of them.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
If they keep doing the back and forth like this, I wouldn't mind seeing both sides go at it. Like, TNA's better, no, WWE's better. Stuff like that.
I don't really know what AJ's argument was, though, because basically everything Orton said was true.
Yeah.
So...
I only heard, reviews of this, but didn't he say that Randy, wouldn't cut it on the indies? That, everyone backstage came from the indies?
Yeah.
So, it can't be that bad. And that Orton couldn't cut it on the indies because there was no one there to hold his hand.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, again, there's truth to that, too.
Yeah.
I don't know how often you can shit in someone's bag on the indies before you stop getting booked.
that was the only thing they didn't bring up.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I don't know whether the match between them two is going to be good, though. Not really looking forward to that.
I think it really could.
Yeah. I think the hype for it will be pretty decent, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what... The build-up is going to be better than the actual match.
Yeah.
It's, just very dependable. Just underwhelming, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's definitely capable of having a great match. I guess the best Randy Orton matches I can think of were the series with Christian. He had a great one with CM Punk at WrestleMania. And he had one with Del Rio that was pretty great, too. And it always seems to me that his best ones are when he's wrestling someone with a lot of regular spots that he can play off of, counters into and out of and whatever. Because he's got a load of spots too. And I know that AJ can hang with, whatever they want to do. So if they get some time and they push things a little bit, and lead us to go, we're having the Springboard 450 or whatever, and he turns it into his snap power slam. It's going to be some fun stuff in it, I think. Or at least could be. But remember the story about how he had to be talked into doing that awesome RKO counter with Seth Rollins? Apparently he said he just wants to keep things very safe.
Yeah.
And wrestle a 7 out of 10 match that I know I can do 10 times out of 10. I don't want to risk getting things wrong. And he had to be talked into it, and it went great, and it's the most memorable thing from that show. Hopefully I'll push the boat out on this one a little bit.
Well, if AJ just wants the upper hand in the promo battle, he should just say, well, at least I didn't have a refrigerator drop on top of me.
He did.
No?
That was the thing that happened.
That is the thing that happened, yeah. Anyway, moving on from there, Asuka and Sonya Deville. Asuka got the upper hand. Sonya was not ready for Asuka. I get that right. And I think Mandy... What happened here? I think Mandy got involved and kind of distracted Sonya for a sec, I think. I just know that she was not happy with Sonya losing. So, yeah, there's some sort of miscommunication during the match. From there, there's another promo with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. With some more insults between one another. Yeah, pretty much nothing. I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember much about this promo at all.
No,
They don't need the queen. Okay, all right, that's nice. Yeah, after that we had Rey Mysterio and R-Truth defeating Samoa Joe and Andrade, which again was kind of a callback to the Fatal 4-Way back at Fastlane, but only it was a tag match. A lot of high-flying action from Mysterio in particular, who looks like he's 20 years younger.
He looks really good.
Let's see. And then after that, we had Daniel Bryan and Rowan defeating Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali. Again, kind of shades from Fastlane a little bit. This was a match that I kind of also just don't remember that much about. I think this is where I tuned out of the show a little bit because I was just like, all right, they're just recycling stuff from Fastlane. This is whatever. And then the closing segment was Mr. McMahon giving Kofi Kingston the greatest opportunity of his career, pal, by setting up a gauntlet match for next week, where he's got to beat 5 different superstars to be put into a title match at WrestleMania against Daniel Bryan.
Did he say that?
Let me see here. Hold on.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. I'm kind of jumping to conclusions here. Hold on.
Well, I think this is going to be the problem because Vince keeps faking him out. He'll say that he's going to do something, and then he technically does it, but he never quite said it's going to be a WWE title match.
Right.
So if he said, if you can beat these 5 guys, you're going to WrestleMania, and it'd be in a box or something. Get him a Sky box, or he'll go to WrestleMania in the Andre Battle Royal, or you can say you'll be in that title match, and it'll be the US title or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. The synopsis doesn't make too much of a mention about that. I could definitely see something like that happening. Yeah. Where he ends up winning the match, and then Vince is like, I never said it was for the title at WrestleMania, pal. I meant for, blah, blah, blah. So.
Yeah, no, it does say on the website. This is from WWE.com. After several minutes of back and forth, Kofi said he didn't expect Vince to give him anything but the opportunity to prove himself. That approach... Sorry, I can't speak English.
That's all right.
That approach peaked piqued Mr. McMahon's interest, and he told Kofi that he would give him the greatest opportunity of his career next week, a gauntlet match in which Kingston could earn the right to challenge Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania if he can defeat Orton, Joe, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Rowan.
Yeah, so there you go. He could, like I said, he could always also just change his mind because he did think a three-way was a handicap match.
True.
As well. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. That's this upcoming. I was gonna say that's this upcoming Tuesday's edition of a SmackDown with the Gauntlet match. Apparently, Raw is kind of stacked this Monday. Lesnar returns before WrestleMania. Angle getting to announce his WrestleMania opponent. Seth Rollins and probably against Drew McIntyre for what he did to Dean Ambrose. The Dana Brooke Ronda Rousey match. Finn Balor. Who will partner with Finn Balor against Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush? Who cares?
Ooh, that's,
anyway,
I'm on the edge of my seat already.
Yeah, we also I guess we skipped over this. Beth Phoenix possibly maybe making an in-ring return of some kind. So Pin Up Strong making a reunion, I guess. Here, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that's all the tidbits I got. I don't know if you guys want to add anything.
No, is anyone keeping up with NXT?
I did see a mention of some sort of spoiler and injury at the taping.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really a spoiler, because I think it's kind of been announced. Ciampa's got neck surgery, or had neck surgery.
Yeah.
So he's had to vacate the title.
Okay.
The NXT title.
Makes sense. Yeah.
If anyone's, don't know if anyone's keeping up to date, there's an announcement on the NXT taping this Wednesday. But obviously being a taping, it's already been announced.
Okay.
Don't know if anyone is interested in spoilers.
Yeah, you can spoil me. I'm not gonna watch, sadly.
The main event for Takeover New York, which is Mania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT title. Gargano against Adam Cole.
Oh, shucks.
That's about as good as they could do, I think.
Yeah.
It really sucks. They've been building up this story for so long, and it's been so good. And
didn't
now
Gargano take out Ciampa this week or something? I've not seen.
Well, but he's injured, isn't he? So it was obviously going there.
Yeah. But he's turned on him again,
minute.
or the other way around. It's kind of weird.
They had to do something. So I've just watched the end of SmackDown there, and Vince says if you win the gauntlet match against these 5 guys, you are going to WrestleMania.
Oh boy.
That's how he phrased it.
Yeah. So yeah, he definitely is going to win it, and then he's going to get like box seats or something like that. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Oh no.
It does say WWE Championship though on the website, so.
Well, I mean that's because of the eggheads and whatnot.
I suppose.
Putting some assumptions there.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, I'll try. I'll probably watch the takeover event if we get the show done. If we get the show done in time, for sure.
There's a couple of the matches being announced as well.
Oh yeah.
North American title match: Matt Riddle v the Velveteen Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Fatal 4-way for the women's title: Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
And a tag title match: Ricochet and Aleister Black versus the War Raiders.
There's also Pete Dunne versus Walter.
Sorry, I
title.
I haven't scrolled down. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's interesting. That's on a takeover.
Yeah, that could be really good too.
Yeah.
That they always do 5 matches, don't they? So that's probably the full card.
Yeah.
And they all look strong. That could be a great show.
Yeah. Are they doing it on Saturday again? Or have they swapped it round?
April 6th, so yeah, that's the Saturday.
Yeah.
That's good. I did read something, I can't find the report right now, but there's a report going around that they've possibly changed the format of the Hall of Fame.
Really?
There's going to be no
presenters.
inductors, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
probably for the best.
also, there's not going to be an actual host. Jerry Lawler said he said on his podcast actually he's not going to be doing it.
Really?
Whether or not someone else is doing it, I don't know, but he said he's definitely not.
Dumb.
So
I feel like that's probably one of the best things the King's actually able to do is
sure, yeah.
host the Hall of Fame.
That's
I'd
the game,
send him to NXT and teach people how to promo.
Is there,
if they are gonna get someone else in, who would you pick? One of the new blood?
Oh God.
I wouldn't know. Hopefully it's not Cole.
Oh God, no.
No, he's relegated to the red carpet of the.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who I would pick.
The report I saw.
Definitely not Coach.
Oh God, no. He can't do live TV. He's terrible.
Wow. Shots fired.
Have you seen him doing the pre-show?
Yeah, I did. No, you're
Just
right.
mixed up all those.
You're 100% right, dude.
He doesn't know what's coming next or what's happening or who's sitting next to him or anything.
God.
The report I saw actually did mention. Now I think of it. Corey Graves.
Yeah,
me.
I can see that. Sure. I wouldn't mind him.
There's just not many guys around now who are who have that kind of authority, that feeling like Lawler's been around forever and he is a legend himself. And you feel like everyone who goes in, he's probably worked with for a long time and he knows them and he's got stories about all of them. You feel like he's the right guy to be presenting a show about the old guys. Like maybe Jim Ross would be good at it too. But you need someone who's got that, but also, like, I can't imagine that Howard Finkel would be good at it. Like, he's a great announcer.
Yeah.
But is he the personality and the kind of on-screen performer that we're used to?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know.
Who would make a good host?
Corey Graves just feels a bit young to me.
Yeah. But I think he could pull it off.
He'd be good.
Huh.
Well, I mean, like, Renee's a great host too.
True. Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe they just have someone announce them. Not Howard Finkel. Who's the other guy that used to announce Edge? This guy's name?
Chimmel. Tony Chimmel.
Chimmel. They could have him just announce the guy and have him come out.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
I kind of like the idea of not having the inductors. It cuts down a lot of time. Focuses on the guys that we're actually there to see.
But I mean, for folks like Vader, that's the closest at this point to the Hall of Fame that they're going to get. Sadly, because I'm in favor of the presenters, if you will.
I think they went on a bit long with sometimes. They used it to look at me, I'm on TV kind of thing.
But still, I mean, it's the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I feel like even as a presenter, you're part of something special, and if you're like, hey, look at me, I'm on TV, then I'm okay with that. It's about you, it's about the industry, stuff like that. I'm 100% a-okay with that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah. You just mentioned Finkel. A little bit of sad news actually. On Jerry Lawler's podcast again, he said Finkel's had a stroke recently.
What?
Oh, really?
And isn't doing too good.
Oh my God, that sucks.
So yeah, I think was it last year Mania he missed for the first time.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his health wasn't doing too good then, but the stroke's quite recent apparently. So Hopefully he pulls through, but apparently it's not looking good.
That sucks.
We gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta do like another like Legends House or something because Jesus Christ.
I never saw all of that. I saw a bit. Never seen the whole thing.
It's on the
Yeah, I
network.
never bothered with that.
It's on the network.
Yeah,
It's one of the first things on the network.
Yeah.
it was. I think it was the first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Might have been, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
But yeah, I hope get well soon. If
Yeah. Get well soon,
we'll
man.
see.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I had something I was going to mention. Oh right, the watch along. They for Fastlane they had like a Periscope stream of a watch along from various superstars. I think it was Pat McAfee hosting it along with like a revolving door of like different WWE talents. They had Alexa Bliss in there for a little bit, EC3. The Iconics were there for like a good majority of it, and they were making fun of Sam Roberts the entire time.
Cool.
He deserved it, honestly. They deserved to bully him. In fact, speaking of the NXT takeover, I wouldn't mind if like Bianca Belair just like had a spot where she slapped the shit out of Sam Roberts on the pre-show. That'd be great. Yeah, they apparently deleted the archive because Nigel McGuinness, who was also one of the talents that showed up late in the broadcast, apparently dropped an F-bomb at some point.
Nice.
So instead of just leaving it up because somebody said a no-no word, they have to just get rid of it entirely. So, well, that's a speculation, I should say. It's not confirmed. But is there anything else?
Just before we go, we talk about Angle's opponents, possible opponents for Mania.
I thought we did that earlier. Samoa Joe, John Cena, Jeff Jarrett.
Sorry, yeah, no, we did mention it. They've got an article on .com about potential opponents, where they've actually mocked up the graphics from WrestleMania as well. It's kind of cool. They've got Undertaker, Cena, Benjamin, Samoa Joe, Chad Gable.
Let's take a look here. Yeah.
Mysterio and Reigns.
Man, if that's actually the WrestleMania graphics for this year, where it's just like a black background and the logo in the middle.
Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. The graphics, they tend to do that on the website anyway.
Roman Reigns. Get out of here with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's more likely.
I still think it would be John Cena. John Cena, Samoa Joe, wildcard Jeff Jarrett.
You've got that thing, haven't you? Cena had his first match against Angle.
Yeah.
Angle got his last match against Cena.
Yeah.
Angle had his first match against, Sean Stasiak?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, I can see it being Cena.
Yeah.
I've got a picture for you, Smoot.
Okay.
This is a picture where WWE has photoshopped Brock Lesnar's face onto Brock Lesnar.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Let's see this.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's not natural. That's not a natural face. That's not...
What the...
Why would you do that? When was this taken? What?
Wow.
That's not a natural face. And I'm not talking about the expression, but I see what you're talking about with the Photoshop. Like they took the clone tool from like a different like 8x10 photo, and they pasted it on Brock Lesnar. What the fuck?
Saying, "Yo, dog, I heard you like Brock Lesnar."
Initially, I thought it was the title that was photoshopped when you brought it up, and I was like, "Oh, that's terrible."
Probably, actually.
Yeah,
that doesn't look quite right either, does it?
No, that looks awful. And then you mentioned his face. I was like, "Wait a minute."
His face is like coming off at the side.
Yeah.
It's like a Picasso face.
Why can't they do that? All right, I can't look at that. I can't look at that too long. I'm sorry.
Last bit of news for you. Apparently, Ronda Rousey's been fined an undisclosed fee because of it.
Oh, because she assaulted a ref. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it was $60. Pay me $60 for an armbar. That'd be funny. Anyway. Is that it? Should we get out of here?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Happy Steve Austin Day, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Happy 316 Day, everybody. Look, Strowman's happy. See? He's happy that it's happy. Day.
He's on the road to WrestleMania.
God damn it.
In the fast lane.
I love that photo. I absolutely love it. Oh, we're going to be here hopefully next week talking about probably what's kind of a loaded Raw. And we'll see if Kofi can make it to WrestleMania through the gauntlet match as well. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time, same YouTube channel. And until then, have a great weekend and happy spring. And happy St. Patrick's Day if you celebrate that. Have a good one, everybody. Good night.